Okay, so the next film we're about to review is called John Henry, okay? It stars Terry Crews and Chris Ludacris Bridges. You know him as Luda, the rapper. All right, and it was directed by Will Forbes. Go ahead and roll the clip.
Good evening. We're doing a sweep of the neighborhood for some kids involved in a nearby gang shooting. Ready to come inside and take a look around. Probably illegals.
Whoa, I'm gonna... I ain't seen no kids.
Stay safe, man.
Are you hungry? I think it'd be safer if you both stay here for a while. Trust me, I'm not a killer. I'm John Henry.
You don't gotta worry about John. When he was young, he shot the devil.
We family, John. We got the same blood coursing through our veins. Heavy lies the crown. Watch how I keep it.
The man woke up superhuman.
Not anymore.
So what you gonna do?
You know why I named you John Henry? When you was born, I said, my boy's strong.
Feel the vibe, I feel the vibe. Extra
Kill him.
extra live. The man woke up superhuman.
You should know I'm not done.
What you gonna do with all that strength, John?
What can I say about this shit? I don't know. This was the worst movie. And we say this a lot, this is the worst movie you ever seen. Because that movie that we saw, that was the worst movie up until that point. And then I saw this shit. And I was like, this is the worst movie I've ever seen to this point. It starred Terry Crews. I don't know why Terry Crews would take this movie. It had Ludacris in it. I don't know why Ludacris would take this movie. John Henry was supposed to be this folk hero, and it was a folk legend from years ago. And he was an idol of mine in the books and in poems and in the songs that I heard about John Henry till I saw it. And I was eager to see this movie. And it was stereotypical. It was some old big black buck nigga shit. It was gang 1985 old school Hollywood gang type put together shit. It was bad. It was just not a good movie. I don't know why they greenlit it. I don't know how they greenlit it. I don't know what it's doing on Netflix. That's all I got for it for right now. All right, John Henry. The name, I originally, when I heard it, I thought that it was going to be a period piece about the real African-American folktale, John Henry, the hero man, making the railroad. Starring Terry Crews, I thought that would have been good casting, but they turned it into some like South Central Boys in the Hood, New Age. I can't say what it was. It was about him growing up in a gang, and then it was like some like pro-immigration type thing, and then it somehow made it seem like black people were sex trafficking people out of Central America, which I don't know when the hell that started, but it's just, it was all over the place. It didn't make any sense. Terry Crews, although politically he says a lot of goofy shit, he's actually a really likable character. He was totally wasted. He said like 3 words in the whole film. Why in the world did they put Ludacris as the bad guy?
terrible, terrible casting. And then he had this stupid, the most ridiculous looking like metal thing on his chin. And I was like, it was just like everything wrong with the movie. It's almost like they got into the producers got into a boardroom and said, what can we do to make the worst movie ever? And that's what I think. And like he said, it's the worst movie ever. It wasn't the worst movie ever until you saw it. I'm done.
So this motherfucker here had that Tin Man shit like from Nipsey Russell.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they went into the old
from the Wiz
shit and took Nipsey Russell piece and said, we could use this and put that shit on his side. I'm like, what? First of all, I'm trying to understand why he even had that on his face.
Why did he have it?
Like
with a beard, by the way.
Yeah. So I think what happened was when they were younger, he was supposed to have shot. I don't give a fuck. I'm spoiling it. He was supposed to have shot his cousin, because that was his cousin. He was supposed to have shot him, and then his cousin, he went to jail, and then he came home from jail, and then the cousin was motherfucking now the big time leader of the gang. And I don't know if he shot the cousin in the face and blew his jawbone off, and he had to put that on there. I don't know what happened, but that was what it was. Then the cousin killed the uncle because he killed John Henry's father. And I'm like, well, why would you kill your father? And then he goes out and grabbed his sledgehammer for no fucking reason at all. And he goes walking through the neighborhood with the sledgehammer, like Walking Tall or some shit. I couldn't understand where the fuck they was going with this movie. I don't know why they went there with it. I don't know who the director was, but it looked like the producing team and the directing team. This was some old school Negro shit, that old school shit they used to do. And they say, don't niggas do this? And a bunch of white people was in the room and they said, don't niggas act like this? And they made this movie. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, and you know, and also, Joe, there was a couple of scenes where it looked like it was like they just put some people in a room. And this is something that really bothers me, is if you're gonna ad-lib in a movie, the ad-lib should always work.
Right.
You understand what, like there was a scene when they was in a car, and it was just ad-libbing and it just kept it going. And none of it was funny. Ad-libbing is great if it works, but you can't just ad-lib something and it makes no sense and it doesn't add to the movie. And also there was like 3 movies happening at the same time. There was like him being a gangbanger. There was like these immigrants looking for their brother. And then there was like this like brother cousin thing that honestly I didn't follow at all. And then all of a sudden it turned into him walking around at the end with a goddamn sledgehammer. So it made no sense. It's not even good and terrible because there's nothing about this movie to make you watch it. It's just like, and it's one of those things that make me say, as Chris Rock said, Terry Crews, do you need me to send you a check for $50? Because why did you do this?
Right. But you said it earlier, it's one of them rent due. The mortgages due checks. You know what I mean? But I don't think Terry Crews got a mortgages due problem. I just think.
No, I don't. He do like America's top follower, son. He got plenty of money.
Y'all, you know what probably happened to this movie? Because sometimes you shoot a movie really early on and it don't get released until now. I'm going to assume that Terry Crews shot this movie in 2016, right after he did White Chicks, and then they just released it now. That's what I'm going to assume. I'm assuming that none of them knew that this shit was going to come out right now. That's what I'm assuming, because it was horrible.
Well, all right, man. So this one I'm going to give 1 gorilla.
I'm gonna give this one a half a gorilla on a license. That's what I'm gonna give this one. This gorilla got an IV in this half a gorilla got an IV in his arm and a goddamn oxygen mask on. And we watching the motherfucking blip go up and down because this motherfucker could die any minute. That's the kind of gorilla I'm giving this.
Exactly. And I'm only giving it 1 gorilla because I think that if there's absolutely nothing else on Netflix and you done watched everything and there's nothing else, it's something that you can sit there and it'll help you fall asleep. You understand what I'm saying?
That shit ain't gonna help you fall asleep. That motherfucking noise in the background make you wake up and turn that shit off. Be like, that ain't even good background noise. You'd be like, what the hell am I listening to? Click.
I hated it, but I think he really hated it. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I didn't like this movie at all, man. I did not like this movie at all.
All right.
Ain't
So anyway, folks, that's us for today. So we're gonna leave you guys right now. With,
wait. But before we leave, we have to give this we have to recap. So just to recap, first movie we looked at was Waves.
Waves. Hell no.
Harry gave Waves.
Waves is one of the worst movies ever put out. One of the most offensive. I'm not gonna say worse. It's not necessarily bad. For me, it was more offensive. It was one of the most offensive movies I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I hated it.
And you gave it how many gorillas?
I gave it a half of a sick baby gorilla.
I gave Waves. I forget how many gorillas I gave Waves. I think I gave it one.
Yeah, I think you gave it.
I gave Waves one gorilla. And the second movie was Compton's Finest.
Well, Compton's Worstest.
Compton's Worst. Both Gary and I gave Compton's Worth 0 gorillas. We couldn't even give it a good and terrible because there was nothing good about it. It was just terrible.
It was just terrible.
So we gave it 0 gorillas. And last but not least,
John
Henry. Gary gave John Henry 1 gorilla because for some reason he thinks some motherfucker in the world is gonna want to watch this shit on Netflix. I gave it a half of a sick gorilla with an IV and a goddamn CPAP mask and the whole 9 yards, clinging for dear life.
Right.
So there you have it.
There you have it. But hold on, Joe.
That's right.
We got to give our picks for what do we call it, Joe?
A classic pick of the week.
Okay, classic pick of the week. What's yours, Joe?
My classic pick of the week this week will be my man Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier in Uptown Saturday Night.
Wow.
Pick of the week.
Pick of the week. Mine is a movie that is very dear to my heart, and it's also very dear to my man's Joe's heart because we've been quoting it since the 80s. My pick of the week is Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd Trading Places. A great holiday movie, and a movie, to me, one of the most quotable movies from beginning to end. It has nothing but quotables from beginning to end, and it's a classic movie. If you ever, it's really great if you got family around. It's really great for it's a holiday movie. It ain't the holidays, but since we are quarantined still a little bit, if you got family around and you just want to watch something fun, Trading Places.
Absolutely. So, that's it for us. We'll see you again next week with another episode of
Ambassador's Court.
Ambassador's Court.
Peace.